In 1988, Valve, a little-known company, released a first-person shooter called Half-Life. This game would go on to define a genre with its rich storytelling and innovative design choices. Inside Randy Pitchford. Randall Stewart Randy Pitchford II was born in Oklahoma City in 1969. He attended Bear River Charter School. His classmates included guitar virtuoso Dave Navarro and comedian Andy Dick. His interests were clairvoyancy and close-up magic. After high school, Pitchford went to UCLA to get a law degree. During this time, he would meet and date his future wife, Kirsty. Kirsty saw that Pitchford did not seem thrilled with law and encouraged him to pursue a career in entertainment, whether through video games or magic. While he then proceeded to do video games on the side, he continued to perform as a professional magician in Hollywood to help pay for school. He further succeeded in gaining membership into the Magic Castle in Los Angeles. It wasn't until one Saturday in 1993 that after an unfortunate disagreement between a bus, some nuns, and his rabbit-out-of-a-hat trick caused him to completely rethink the direction that his professional life would take. Video game development became his primary focus. Randy applied for a job and was accepted on board with 3D Realms in Texas. At the time, they were known as Zapogee, having just released Wolfenstein 3D. Pitchford took the lead in the development of Duke Nukem 3D.
Prepare yourself for the ultimate 3D slugfest! Murderous aliens have landed in futuristic Los Angeles, and the humans suddenly find themselves atop the endangered species list. It's the ultimate game for unleashing all your pent-up aggression. It's the most astonishing game we've laid our eyes on for ages. In fact, it makes pretty much every PC game we've ever seen, Doom included, look slightly dull. Honestly.
Although Duke Nukem was not a new intellectual property, its success was perhaps down to the new wave of 3D FX Voodoo graphics chips in the ever-growing home computer market, combined with the success of the Sega Saturn, Atari Jaguar, and Nintendo's PlayStation consoles. A group of 3D Realms developers left to form Rebel Boat Rocker around April 1997, and Pitchford left 3D Realms to join them by May 1997. Their first release was Prax War, published by Electronic Arts, who would go on to bigger and better things. Pitchford joined 4 other Rebel Boat Rockers, some of his former 3D Realms colleagues, to found Gearbox Software in February 1999. The name was selected to compare their team to the efficient and well-oiled mechanisms of the automotive transmission gearbox. Pitchford accepted the Academy of Interactive Arts and Sciences Award for Best PC Action Game in 2000 for his production and direction of Gearbox's debut title, Half-Life: Opposing Force. Since then, Pitchford's company has been involved in the development and production of Half-Life for Dreamcast, Half-Life Blue Shaft, Half-Life for PlayStation 3, Hunger Strike Condition Zero, James Bond 007 Nightlife, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 for Windows and Mac OS, and Halo Combat Evolved for Windows and Mac OS. In 2005, Pitchford produced Brothers in Arms, Gearbox Software's first original IPA. The first World War-themed third-person shooter featured innovative design choices, such as the ability to parachute anywhere on the battlefield during player-versus-player encounters. Sadly, these innovative design choices were not enough to deliver satisfying market results, and the game released with no critical fanfare or significant retail sales. In a manner completely unknown to the market, 3 sequels were subsequently greenlit. Brothers in Arms, Road to Bastogne, Brothers in Arms, Born in Blood, Brothers in Arms, Hell's Bypass. Randy was in trouble. With 4 critical flops to his name, his team needed to come up with something innovative in both design choices and concept to end the losing streak, or the shareholders would simply desert Gearbox for good. In 2008, Borderlands was released. The masses rejoiced. Borderlands, published by 3D Games, combined elements of titles like Half-Life with the repetitive loot and kill aspects of isometric point-and-clickers like Diablo, with puzzle components from The Curse of Monkey Island and Oddworld's Abe's Odyssey, with slow-motion action set-pieces from Sega's Time Crisis. In Borderlands, you can play one of 5 characters, each with unique abilities and character customization. Online and split-screen co-op play was available. Borderlands represented the dawning of a new era in cooperative action shooting, and spawned 6 successful DLC packs. Borderlands, The Zombie Island of Dr. Ned. Borderlands, Claptrap's New Robot Revolution. Horse Armor DLC. Normandy Crash Site. Broken Steel, and Back to Karkand. After the unexpected closure of 3D Realms, Gearbox rescued the Duke Nukem IP, plucking it from a lengthy development hell. It was released in 2011 and immediately hailed a successful knockout of the park, adding to Gearbox's growing library of hits. With the success of the bulletproof co-op action shooters Borderlands and Duke Nukem 3D, Randy purchased the rights to Fox's 1988 cinematic masterpiece Alien 2. The film, directed by James Cameron, then known for Avatar and Piranha 2 3D, featured futuristic cybermarines on the hunt for bugs called the Endomorphs. It stormed the UK box office and still retains a cult following of fans to this day. In 2010, work on the franchise-inspired game commenced. Aliens Colonial Marines featured professional voice acting talent from the original motion picture cast. Reginald Vell Johnson reprised his role as Sergeant Al Powell. Delroy Lindo would once again voice the cyborg, Cardinal. Jeanette Goldstein as no-nonsense Marine, Megan Shapiro. The plot served as a prequel to Alien 3D and charts the adventures of a small unit of cybermarines as they try to contain the outbreak caused by Helen Ripley in the motion picture. The game was showcased to much applause at E3 in 2011 thanks to its innovative design choices and state-of-the-art 3D graphics. Pitchford stated that fan immersion and enemy AI would bring tense action set pieces to the design concept. Teamwork and character customization were at the heart of the project. The fans waited with held breath, and in Q4 of 2012 the game was released. Here is the Guardian's take on the finished product.
Aliens Colonial Marines continues to be enjoyable for hours on end. It plays so differently to other online fragfests that it constantly feels innovative and fresh.
Although most professional reviewers were quite pleased with the game, not all reviewers were quite as thrilled. Here is a review from the Steam digital storefront.
I've had my heart broken several times in my life. Once, on Christmas Day 1989. I eagerly ran downstairs.
Unfortunately, upon release, the game featured no multiplayer, as due to budget constraints and the team having had to share their time between this game and Borderlands 2, Jack's total lack of surprise meant that graphical textures were not rendered in high definition. Nonetheless, the game was a critical and financial success. Randy Pitchford was once again praised for his leadership and integrity. The following half-decade left little time for leisure for Randy Pitchford and Gearbox Software. In 2013, Pitchford successfully bid for the Homeworld IP after the collapse of THQ. In 2015, Gearbox released Homeworld Remaster Collection, where it topped the charts. In 2016, Pitchford founded Gearbox Publishing under the parent company Gearbox Software. In 2016, Gearbox Publishing released Duke Nukem 20th Anniversary World Tour, as well as Bulletstorm: Full Clip Edition, Fortnite, Hello Neighbor, We Happy Few, and Battlebron, which Pitchford developed internally along with many key members of the Borderlands team. In 2017, at the Penny Arcade Expo in Seattle, he also announced an exciting virtual reality project in partnership with Las Vegas magicians Penn and Teller. In 2018, Randy Pitchford and Gearbox Software took the year off for a much-needed sabbatical. We now fast forward to 2019. Borderlands 3 has been announced. The fourth title in the Borderlands saga sees handsome Jack scour Pandora in search of his birth parents. The game will feature interactive puzzles, voice commands, and 64-player drop-in and drop-out cooperative couch co-op split-screen multiplayer. Borderlands 3 will be released exclusively on the new and feature-rich Epic Games Store. With the success of titles like Metro 76, The Last Life, and Division 2, Pitchford decided to steer his IP away from the popular but archaic Steam Digital Storefront. Steam Digital Storefront CEO Todd Howard was less than impressed. Fans, as ever, were supportive, placing their faith in Pitchford's long track record of honesty and integrity. But what does the future hold for Gearbox and Randy Pitchford? How long will fans have to wait for news of the second installment in the Aliens Colonial Marines trilogy? When Borderlands 3 meets our expectations, what should we expect in the years to come? Are the rumours true that Randy Pitchford seeks to become majority shareholder in Epic Games Storefront? Ultimately, how does Randy Pitchford plan to continue to raise the bar of innovative design choices within 3D games? We have looked inside Randy Pitchford.